Welcome to the presentation of the dynamic recipe from LOESCHE. Some information first. The recipe is designed for grinding plants, but can also be used for other types of systems. A dynamic recipe grows and supports the life cycle of a system and is aimed at operators who want to optimize the benefits of their system, either independently or with the support from LOESCHE. The plant operator can gradually store their individual experiences regarding the plant's behavior in datasets. A dynamic recipe can suggest a recipe change or even perform it automatically. Users can create their own simple logic for this purpose. Now let's get to the recipe. On the left side, you will find the target or parameter values. A product can be identified by its name and quality. The parameters are specifically selected for an individual plant. Up to 30 parameters can be used, with each parameter needed to be released separately. A ramp time allows for a smooth transition from one dataset to another. When set to 0, the ramp is turned off. On the left button, the recipe can be manually released via a control release button. The process release appears once the grinding plant is in operation, including time delay. After clicking on Activation and Organization, a window appears from where you can transfer a dataset in the PLC Program Logic Controller, or in reverse, write an active dataset from the PLC to any dataset. During a dataset transfer, you can copy datasets, including the associated logic, to the desired location. For example, dataset 1 can be copied to dataset 15 for organizational reasons. Please have a look. I open logic 1 of dataset 1 and I open logic 15 of dataset 15. If I press now the button, Dataset Transfer, all parameters, including the logic, will move from dataset 1 to dataset 15. Now all parameters, and also the logic, is arrived at logic and dataset 15. Now let's move on to the logics you can create yourself. Below, in the I/O field of activation by logic, you can choose whether a dataset should suggest a dataset change or perform an automatic change. 0 means dataset change is off. Example 1 shows a logic suggestion for a dataset change from 1 to 2, with the logic stored in dataset 1. This would refer to a lower feed rate to the mill. The reason for this can be related to grinding instabilities, for example. When a process value is clicked, for example, mill outlet temperature, the fields for requesting a process value greater or less than the limit value are displayed, including a delay time, and can be set by the operator. A corresponding operating authorization must be given. If the process value is deselected, the setting disappears. The queries can be based on OR and combinations. The third gate can be set to either OR or AND as required. We now fulfill the logic by lowering the vibration limit. The actual vibration value is simulated and is 3 mm per second. In this case, we change the limit to 1 millimeter. Now the first OR gate is fulfilled. And if we change now the third gate to OR logic, the complete logic is fulfilled. If the logic is fulfilled while the recipe is active, an operating message is generated if a proposal is made. You can see this message at the top. The possible return path, that is a data set change from 2 back to 1, could then be stored in the logic of data set 2. I open logic 2 only for information. Additionally, in the automatic dataset change from 10 to 11, an example is provided for a sudden increase in material moisture. In this case, the temperature after the mill would automatically increase from 90 to 100. In the assignment window, you can get an overview of all established dataset connections. For instance, a proposal for dataset 2 is made in dataset 1. The middle button, Activation by Time, allows an automatic dataset change based on the time of day, which can be useful for day and night shifts. In the image on the right, highlighted in green, you can see the active setting values. Now we switch to the grinding plant overview, from where the grinding plant is usually operated. Here, you have the option of making settings for a start and the smooth transition to grind plant operation. The screen also provides an overview of all settings and allows you to adjust all operating values from one window. I have now reached the end of the presentation. If we have aroused your interest, we would be happy to discuss the dynamic recipe and the resulting personal benefits with you in more detail. Thank you for your attention.